Hello everybody! So as you can see, I'm a ghost, and that's because it's 2 weeks to Halloween. So let me take this off so you guys can actually see me. So we're going to be doing 2 weeks of Halloween themed coding classes. And I want to shout out to Ren, which sent me, he's aged 4, and he sent me a message via Instagram to actually do these classes themed Halloween. So thank you, and that's what I'm going to try and do. So I hope you like them, and I hope everybody else does as well. So today, the first class, we are going to be doing something around ghosts, which is kind of why I was dressed like that. Something around jack-o'-lanterns as well, so I hope that you guys like jack-o'-lanterns. And we're going to animate them and make them into a spooky theme. Does that sound exciting? I really hope so. So for everybody coming back, you probably know all the blocks that we're going to use. If you're new to these coding classes, there's tons of them. I think this is coding class 19, I think. But you don't have to do all the other classes to be able to do this one. So you can just follow what we're explaining. And you'll see that it's pretty easy. So the only thing that you really need is an iPad with ScratchJr installed in it. And that's it. So do you guys want to see what we're going to do? Let me start up ScratchJr, start recording my screen, and actually show what we are doing. So here we go. Where are you? Here we go. So it should pop up here. And I'm going to press green.
I'm a jack-o'-lantern.
So, we're going to have this ghost going boo and moving across the screen. And we're going to have 2 jack-o'-lanterns. And because jack-o'-lanterns normally have candles in them, so we're going to have like this flickering of their faces. Does that sound cool? I hope so. So, with that, let's start. So, the first thing that you guys need to do is boot up ScratchJr. So let's start that one up. And when you boot ScratchJr, we're going to have this house symbol here on the bottom. Okay? Take this iPad out of the way because it's only bothering us. So when you have that screen open, you can go to the top left. So that's here where this plus sign is. And on that plus sign, tap on it to start a new project, okay? And you should have this blank screen with ScratchJr on it. So ScratchJr, I think, is the name of the cat. What we're going to do is we're going to take ScratchJr out. So we're going to press on the cat and keep your finger on the cat until he starts wiggling. When he is wiggling, press on that red cross, okay? And with that red cross, he goes away. So you should have a blank screen right now. So more or less kind of like this white background and nothing here on the bottom, which is where we will see the coding. So the first thing we need to do is go up here and press the background. So right there, if you see like this little black dot, that should help you see where I'm going. So next to the ABC, you have the backgrounds. We're going to press on the backgrounds, and now we're going to scroll all the way down until we get to this nighttime theme here. So all the way down, more or less to the right, you have this one with the moon, like the quarter moon, and then you have this one with the full moon. I'm going to use the full moon. Okay, so press on that one, and it says woods, and then press on the tick box on the top. Okay, so you should have your background with the moon on it. And now we're going to start adding, or actually drawing, our characters. So ScratchJr doesn't have a ghost, and it doesn't have jack-o'-lantern, so we're going to make them. Okay, so today we're going to do some drawing. We're going to go here on the left, and you see under ScratchJr in the house, you have this plus sign over here. So press on that plus sign, and now instead of searching for a character, go up here to the paintbrush. So on the top right, you're going to have this paintbrush next to the tick box and next to the cross. Press on the tick box, and we're going to paint our ghost. So, on the left, we're going to say that we want to paint with our finger. So that's a squiggly line here. It follows our finger, whatever we paint. We're going to make the thickness of the line, the middle thickness. So you have like the thin up here and the thick on the bottom. So we're going to get that middle one. Make sure that you have black selected. So that's the color here on the bottom. Make sure it's black and not something else. And we are now going to draw our ghost. So the way I normally do it is kind of start on this side, go up, go around, go down, and then do like this squiggly line here. Okay? Cool? So go up, around, down, and then a squiggly line on the bottom. Okay, this is all with your finger. So just put your finger there and do it. If by any chance you guys are getting circles or squares or triangles, it's because you don't have the squiggly line selected. So the one that looks like a snake, okay? If you make a mistake, so if you don't like what you've done, you have these arrows here on the top. So one says go back and the other one go forward. If you go back, it undraws the last thing that you did. So you can always go and start again. Up, down, and wiggle. Until you actually like your ghost. Okay? So when you do like your ghost, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some eyes. So we go here and we just with our finger draw one eye. We draw another eye. And I'm going to make a big round mouth. Okay? If you want to make smaller eyes or bigger eyes or whatever, you can. Okay? But basically what you need is a big ghost and its eyes and mouth inside the ghost. Okay? I'll let you guys draw that before we go to the next part. If by any chance I'm going too fast or you're missing something, just use YouTube to rewind it a little bit and then you can play it again. Okay? Or you can even pause if you're going slower than what I'm doing. Okay? So now we're going to paint the inside of the ghost white. And the reason for that is, if not, he's transparent. So he wouldn't be white when you put him on the background. Okay, so we need to put him in white color. So the way we do that is here on the bottom, we select white color. So right on the bottom. And then we're going to go here on the right. So you have an arrow, like these arrows too, a stamp, some scissors, a camera, and a bucket. So press on the bucket and press anywhere in the middle of the ghost. And you'll see that it goes slightly white. So that means that the inside is painted white. Okay? When you finish doing that, press the tick box on the top. And you should have your ghost in the middle of the forest, of the spooky forest. So, we're going to press our finger on the ghost and drag him a little bit upward. So he's kind of floating through the air. Okay? Just put your finger on the ghost and drag him up. Okay? And now what we're going to do is draw our jack-o'-lanterns. So here on the left, under the ghost, we're going to press the plus sign. Okay, so press on the plus sign, and again, go up here to the paintbrush, and press on that paintbrush. And now we're going to draw our jack-o'-lantern, but only the pumpkin. So not the face, only the pumpkin. And the way we do that is, on the left, under the squiggly line, there's a circle. Okay, so we're going to press on that circle, so above the square, press on that circle. And pumpkins, so what jack-o'-lanterns are made of, are orange. So we're going to press on orange, okay? And we're going to make a circle more or less from here to here. So you just put your finger there and you drag it down diagonally, okay? So kind of in this shape. And try and make it, I don't know, is that half the screen more or less? So you see there's these like big squares here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of the big squares. Okay? And let go when you have a circle. It's okay if it's not perfectly circle, but try and make it a little bit circly. And now we're going to paint the inside of it. So we go again to the bucket. So here on the right, the arrows, the stamp, the scissors, the camera, and the bucket. And we're going to press on it. Okay? And pumpkins have something coming out the top, which is the stem. So we're going to draw a stem. And the way we do that is above the circle you have that squiggly line again. So we press here on the left the squiggly line. And up here on top of the pumpkin, we just drag it up and a little bit to the right. Okay, so put your finger and drag it up and a little bit to the right. And you should have a nice little stem coming out of your pumpkin. Cool? Cool. So when we finish doing that, we go up to the tick box. And we're going to drag our jack-o'-lantern a little bit down, so put your finger on it, a little bit down and a little bit to the left. Okay? Cool? Done? Awesome. We're going to add another one of these. So, you have the ghost, you have the pumpkin, and under that you have this plus sign here on the left. Press on that plus sign, and now you already have the pumpkin done. So the top thing next to the white square should be a pumpkin. So press on that, and press on the tick box. Okay? And you should have a pumpkin on top of the ghost. We're going to put our finger on the pumpkin and drag them a little bit down and to the right. Okay? So you should have a ghost, one pumpkin, and two pumpkins. Cool? Awesome. What we're going to do now is put faces on the pumpkin. So, under this pumpkin on the left, so you see you have the two pumpkins, we're going to press that plus sign again. We're going to go to our paintbrush. So up here is our paintbrush. And now we're going to make eyes and a mouth. Okay, so we're going to start with a very simple one, so with triangles. So you have the squiggly line, you have the round here on the left, you have the square, and you have the triangle. Press on the triangle, make sure you still have it in orange, and we're going to draw one triangle, so just put your finger and drag it down, two triangles, and now you start from the bottom up. Oops, I made a mistake, so I'm going to press that arrow to take away the mistake that I did. And I'm going to start here, I think, for a nose. Cool, so I have one triangle, two triangles, one in the middle, which is this nose. And now I'm going to make a mouth. So I'm going to go here to the left, and on the top you have the squiggly line. I'm going to press on the squiggly line and make a smiley face. Here we go. There we go. Okay? So just drag it across. So you should have two big triangles for the eyes, a smaller triangle for the nose, and a mouth. Cool? Okay, if you have that, we're going to paint inside of it. So we're actually going to make it candle color, and that's kind of like this yellowish thing. So press here on the yellow. Here on the yellow. Press on the bucket on the right, so you have your arrows, your stamp, the scissors, the camera. Press on the bucket, and press in the middle of the triangle, in the middle of the other triangle, in the middle of the nose, and in the middle of the mouth. Okay? And everything should be colored yellow. Cool? Now we can press our tick box up here on the right. So press on that tick box, and put your finger more or less where the nose is and drag it down to the middle of your pumpkin. And you'll see that it's a little bit big for your pumpkin. So we're going to change its size, okay? Go to the purple block. So you see here the yellow, the blue, and the purple. And within the purple blocks, there's these blocks that have three people. So one is actually called grow, and the other one with the three people is called shrink. So we're going to get this one that has a smaller person. You see that there's a bigger white person there and a smaller one here? Drag that one down with your finger. Okay? And press on it. Tap on it with your finger. So just tap once, twice. I think that's okay for me. So depending on how big or small you did it, tap once or twice. If you tap too many times, so let's say I make it too small, so I just tapped on it again and again, I want to make it bigger. What I do is I bring down the grow block. That's this one here with the big person. So drag him down, and you can tap on him to make it bigger. Okay, so you can kind of play smaller or bigger depending on what you like. When you have the face to the size that you want, put your finger on the blocks that you drag down and drag them up so they disappear. Just drag them up anywhere up there, and they completely disappear. Okay? Cool? So now we're going to do our last drawing, which is the face of the other jack-o'-lantern. So we're going to go here to the left, and you have the ghost, the pumpkins, the face, and under him you have this plus sign. Press on the plus sign, okay? And we're going to draw one more thing. So go up here and press on that paintbrush, okay, on the top right. And now we're going to do a jack-o'-lantern face with squares. So we're going to go to the squiggly line, the circle, and the square. So you see over the triangle, there's this square. We're gonna press on the square, and we're gonna do an eye that's a square, another eye that's a square, and now I'm going to do a mouth. I'm not going to do a nose on this one. So we're going here to the left, and we're going to get that squiggly line, so the one that looks like a snake. And now over here, we're going to make a face, a mouth. So what I'm actually going to do is what normally you do in jack-o'-lanterns, which is make a tooth, make a smile, and go down, make another tooth here, and another tooth here, and up again. Cool? So you see I have one tooth on the top and 2 teeth on the bottom. And when you've drawn that, so I'll give you 1 second just to draw that. So 2 squares, then the squiggly line, and make like it can be smiling, it can be sad, whatever you want. When you're finished, you go here to the left, and to the right, sorry, this is definitely right, you have the arrows, the stamp, the scissors, the camera, and the bucket. We're going to press on the bucket, and we're going to color the inside of our eyes. So just tap on the inside of those 2 squares, and tap anywhere inside the mouth. Okay? And when you do that, selecting the bucket, it's going to paint the inside of those elements of the eyes and the mouth. Go to the top right and press on the tick sign. So you should have your face on top of the ghost. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our finger on the face. Oops, I just selected the ghost by accident. If this happens, press anywhere else on the screen. And try and put your finger again on top of the face and drag it down. Okay? And the same thing. The face is too big for this pumpkin. So we're going to shrink it. We go to the purple blocks. We're going to go to the shrinking block, which is the one that has 3 people and the small white person. Drag it down and tap on it once, tap on it twice, and I think that for me is okay. So I'm just going to do it twice. If you want it smaller, you can. If you want it bigger, then you can enlarge it as well. And what we're going to do is drag that block that we just used all the way up. Okay? Cool? Okay, so we have all our characters, all our objects, and now the only thing we need to do is code them. So the ghost, if you remember, he's going that way, and he's going to be going boo. So let's code that. Go here on the left, and you see in between the white boxes and this gray line, you have like this space here. Put your finger there, and drag it up and down. So just slide it up and down, and you'll see that the ghost, which you couldn't see, now you can see. So press on the ghost, and now we're going to start coding. So we're going to start that with a start block, and in this case, when the program starts, we want the ghost to start moving. So we're going to do a start on green. We go to the yellow blocks, and we drag down the yellow block with the green flag. Okay, and that's going to be what the ghost will be doing as soon as we press on the green flag. We're going to go to the movement blocks, and we're going to tell him to move in that direction. So we drag down the block with the arrow, okay, which is the left. So the second block here. We're going to make a sound. So we're actually going to record this sound. So we go to the green blocks. This microphone here, we press on the microphone, and we're going to press red and record a ghost noise. So I'm going to go boo, but you can make any ghost noise that you like. So, and when you're finished doing the ghost noise, press the tick box. So red, make the noise, and then tick box. Boo! I'm going to press on that tick box. Okay? So if you go to the... I'll let you guys record that. Sorry, I'm going pretty fast. Okay, so red, make a noise, and tick box. And now this microphone appears. We're going to drag that microphone down and put it next to the blue movement block. Okay? So what we want him to do is move, then say boo, but then we want him to do it again and again and again. So he just keeps moving. So the way we do that is with the red blocks and this repeat forever block. So it's the one, not the red one without arrows, it's the one with the arrows. We drag that down. And what that does is, when we start the program, he moves, he says boo, and then we repeat. So he moves again, says boo, and we repeat. So just going to keep doing that for as long as we have this program running. Cool? And that's our coding for the ghost. Now let's do the jack-o'-lanterns. So we're actually only going to code the faces. So meaning, if I press, for example, here on the jack-o'-lantern, so you'll see that I selected it here on the left, if it has no code, he's just going to stay there and do absolutely nothing, which is what we want him to do. If you guys want, after this class, you can animate him, so you can actually make the face and the pumpkin move at the same time. But for now, we're just going to have the pumpkin static and the face doing the pulsing. So we're going to select our first face, so that's the one with the triangles and the smile. And we're going to have it start, flickering. Flickering is the word, when you have a candle and it's kind of making that interesting light movement. So we're going to start with the yellow blocks. We're going to drag down this start on green. So the yellow blocks start on green because he's going to be doing it as soon as we start the program. And we're going to have him flicker. So we go to the purple blocks and you have this hide and this show block. So it's the ones at the end that have one person, one a silhouette and the other one white. This one makes things disappear and this makes things appear. So we're going to drag down the disappearing one down next to the yellow block, and we're going to drag down the appearing one also next to the yellow block. And we want him to kind of flicker on and off, on and off. So he's going to repeat it. We go again to the red blocks and we drag down the one with the arrows. Okay, so that ends our line of code and tells him to always repeat this as long as the program is running. Okay, so that's one part of a jack-o'-lantern. The other part that we need is for him to say, I'm a jack-o'-lantern. So, and he's going to do that at the same time that he's flickering. So we're going to go to the yellow blocks. We're going to drag down the start on green. We're going to go to the green blocks. And we're going to press on the microphone. So this one here. And we're going to press record. And we're going to say, I'm a jack-o'-lantern. And then we press the tick box. Okay? So red. I'm a jack-o'-lantern. And tick box. If you want to make it spooky, you can go, I'm a jack-o'-lantern, woo, or something like that, okay? So let's go to the microphone that just appeared and drag it down to the start on green. What we're going to do is we're going to finish this line of code with the normal red block because we don't want it to repeat all the time. If you want to, you can, but what I did is that the ghost is always repeating, so it's already one noise, and this one just says it once, okay? Cool? For those of you that have come to a couple of classes, you can also change this so that when you tap on the jack-o'-lantern, so actually touch it, so you use a starting block that's a touching one, it says this noise. So that way you can just tap it whenever you want. Okay? So cool. So that's the coding for this face. And what we're going to do is code the other face of the other jack-o'-lantern. So if you go again here in between the white boxes and the gray line, and swipe up, so swipe with your finger up, the other face appears. So press on the other face. So you have here the face selected with the yellow box. And we're going to do just the flickering. So we're going to go to the yellow blocks, drag down the start on green. We're going to go to the purple blocks and drag down the hiding block and the show block. Okay? And we're going to tell it to repeat. So we go to the red blocks and we drag down the one with the arrows. Okay? So you should have a green flag, a hide block, a show block, and the arrows. Cool? That is all our coding. Okay? So are you guys excited to test it now? Let's go up here, so next to the house, this one here with the corners. So you see you have like a rectangle with then these lines at the corner. Press on that one for full screen and press your green flag.
I'm a jack-o'-lantern.
Isn't that cool? Take off the sound of this one. So there you go, guys. I hope you liked the first of our Halloween classes. Come back next week because we're going to have another Halloween class. And hint, it's something around trick-or-treating. Another thank you very much to Ren, who's 4 years old, and he sent me actually a request for Halloween classes over Instagram, which reminds me, since you can't leave comments on YouTube, please join the Instagram channel, The Coding Dad, which should appear down here, and leave me comments, send me videos of what you guys were able to do, ask for classes. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I think the channel is there and the latest video is there, or vice versa. So feel free to subscribe. I will see you guys next week. Bye!